All right, folks, welcome back to BEG Wrestling, baby. We are here, and we are live. So join in the comments. You even have an option to call in live, but we got Cornell Kevin here. We have an incredible show tonight, folks. In fact, coming up at 7:30, we got Wrestle Madness calling in, along with Dom Zacconi, to give our predictions here for Final X coming up this Saturday here on Flow Wrestling, June 14th, Kevin. I'm pumped. You're pumped, awesome, man. Before we dive right into the first topic, how you doing, Kevin? How's your life?
I'm doing good, man. Things are good. Finally got some summer up here in Rotten, Chester, New York, where it's just been cold, but finally weather's good, ready to roll, man.
It's good. Hey, good to hear, man. And listen, folks, Wayne is not back tonight, although we did get his predictions. So we do have his predictions for Final X coming up here. And we'll get into it around 7:30. But before we get into that, folks, as you see, your comments may get joined on the screen. But, Kevin, let's get into it. The biggest thing on everyone's mind, man, it's Ben Askren, the health of Ben Askren, and what's going on with him. And we got a little bit of clarity today from Daniel Cormier that he said that he's back at home, and then he later clarified on Twitter, I guess, that he's back in Wisconsin in a hospital. He isn't home. Please keep praying for Ben. I should have been more clear. So, I mean, as we all know, Ben's battling for his life, folks. And, you know, Kevin, I've taken some shots at Ben, all in fun and jest in the past. But, dude, Ben may be the most incredible mind in the sport, and I have the utmost respect for him. And, I mean, I have been praying for Ben. I think we're all praying for Ben Askren. And before I ask you what your thoughts are, Kevin, I just, you know, to me, I'll tell you what my takeaway is here is, man, as a man and in the toughest sport of wrestling, Kevin, we're all tough guys here, right? 95% of our audience is men. And we're all tough guys, and you guys don't want to go get checked if they got something going on. Like, my takeaway here, Kevin, and I think everyone's takeaway should be, dude, and even women out there, don't try to be a tough guy. You know, if something's going on, especially the older you get, Ben's only 40 years old. But, and especially if you have kids, man, let's take this as a reality check. Maybe let's not try to be the manliest man all the time, dude, and do the smart thing. But, Kevin, your thoughts on Ben Askren?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, do it going for your kids, you know, even if you don't, you know, and I mean, I don't know exactly what the situation was, but this was such a bummer of a news, man. Like, it really bothered me because he's someone that I love this guy, man. I love listening to him, love watching him. He's done so much for the sport. And now it's beyond anything. It's just, he's fighting for his life. And I just been praying that he will come out of this for his kids, his family. And I really feel like I look forward to hearing from him again. You know, I truly feel like we're going to hear from him again, and that he'll get better. So let's just all hope he does. That's some serious stuff.
Yeah, it is, man. And I don't know any details, and maybe what I read could be wrong, but what I read is, I don't know if he had something going on prior and kind of was like toughing it out, and then kind of led to other things and led to the pneumonia, and now he's fighting for his life. But that was where it hit to me, because, you know, we all got little aches and pains now, man, and you don't want to go to the hospital, or, you know, because that's a pretty rough process, quite frankly, right? But maybe an urgent care or something. Absolutely. Guys out there, women out there,
absolutely,
if you got something going on.
I used to be like that. I would never go, you know, and then I had few things happen to friends of mine, close friends of mine, young, in the past few years, and now I go over everything, man. I don't care. I go, I get whatever it is, go in and out. Better safe, you know.
Better safe than sorry. And folks, pray for Ben Askren. We all are rooting for you, Ben. And I mean, I need you around because, dude, you're one of, if not the greatest mind in the sport. I like to poke fun at you, Ben. So I hope you not only make it through this, but make it back to full health and full recovery. So, and I think everyone is. But on from that, folks, we got to talk about the beef. The big beef, and what is going on here. Kevin in Penn State, Bo Bartlett, and apparently Carter, now basically confirmed, Starachi, and some beef, some bullying, and I don't know. We don't know any details, and Bartlett's wife is heavily involved in this as well as apparently Carter Sirachi's mother has a alias Twitter now. That is all but I guess been confirmed. But Kevin, I'll tell you what my takeaway is here, dude. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went on, but I've said it before, man. I hate stuff getting outside my house. Our problems. We got a lot of problems in this house. Trust me. I don't like them getting outside the house. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Me and Kelly got an issue. We talk directly, and it can get passionate, and I think that's pretty healthy. But it's at the end of it, we both feel good. But I don't know what went on here, but I feel like it was a missed opportunity for Bartlett and Carter to hash this out one-on-one. But maybe to the bigger issue is because Bartlett does make some references, and I like clarity. This is a very unclear post here by Bartlett.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I hate that. But it
feels to me like
go ahead.
It sucks because I like Bartlett a lot. He's actually one of my favorite guys on Penn State, not from a wrestling standpoint, but from a personality standpoint. I feel like he's a really good kid. I feel like his wife, or is his wife or girlfriend?
Sid, his wife now, Sid.
Wife. So she was she said some things online, right? And then people started firing back at her, and then he came on giving this big long soliloquy of like, talking to my wife is crossing the line. It's like, that's okay, man, but she can't be saying stuff. If she says stuff like she does, she's gonna get fired back on, It's kind of like, what did you expect, really? And I'm the same way, man. I like clarity, and when you're throwing out these like kind of half-assed accusations or stuff, it just sounds, I don't know, it just is a bad look for him. It kind of sounds like he was, on the way out, and he kind of a sourpuss about it, like kind of decided, now I'm going to throw shots out,
Parting shots. Maybe it's parting shots. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wish he would have just confronted Carter, and maybe he did. I don't know. We don't know the deal, but I feel like if he did that, though, that probably would have been handled, right?
And I also feel like, and again, this is just speculation, but when he wrote that really long thing, it almost was like, his wife was saying, this is what they're saying about me. Are you going to do anything about it? Are you going to say anything? Are you going to, are you going to let everyone talk to me like that? And then, because that's what exactly kind of how it read, because he seems like someone that just doesn't really get involved in a lot of stuff like that from a social media standpoint. It's always very positive with him. He seems very low key. I don't know his wife, and I don't know what exactly was said, but that's from coming from an outside perspective. That's what it looked like to me, is that she said, are you going to do something about this? And then he wrote this long thing, which is totally uncharacteristic of who he is from what I've seen. So yeah, man, I don't know. And you know how Penn State fans are, they'll love you until they don't, and it would be a shame to see him leave and not, have that fan base behind his corner when he spent his whole career there at Penn State, and did a lot of good things.
Well, Bartlett, what RTC?
He's at the Columbia there, the New York City RTC with Amit, Elor, and Seabass.
So to something you said, your point is, his wife has been priorly a social media superstar. So. Am I led to believe that she probably maybe pulled him into this a little, because it is very uncharacteristic of Bartlett, right, to make something like this?
Yeah, I mean,
I do believe that he was likely pulled in by Sid, his wife, to a degree. But the other bigger question that I think is, okay, maybe they had beef. Who cares? That's whatever. The bigger question, and the real question is there a culture problem at Penn State, right? I mean, because he said here, he reported it to the right, but then he doesn't blame people. I said, and that's where I'm like, dude, clarity would be nice, but is there a culture problem at Penn State? You've seen posts out here, and I mean, I don't have that up here to break down, but all these things are very separate. People are now trying to throw on to the Penn State trash trash can bandwagon, dude. And it's like now they're lumping together. Thomas Gilman didn't go for that. Was not even.
I mean, dude, everybody's got dirty laundry. You know what I mean?
Braden Davis
and it
got
was
in
kind of
trouble.
funny. Like I was reading the thing, and I think I heard Willie say it. How he was. Some of it's so funny because it's just you could pick it apart what she's writing, right? Like he didn't even answer the authorities, and when it was like, okay, so what is it? He doesn't answer the authorities. Does that mean that they just give up on the case? Like they're just done? Like that's it? It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It's a lot of just kind of garbage in there, and yeah, man, you hate to see that. It's something that I think that as they both get older, they're gonna regret, bringing it up as they. And yeah, I see that comment that you just posted up there. That was my feelings as well. That it was
Transfer
written.
Madness says, I think the wife wrote the essay.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. I mean, to take it a step further of her saying, "What are you going to do about it?" It sounded. You just don't picture him. If you've seen any of Bartlett's media and all his stuff, he's such a. I can't picture him writing a paragraph, let alone that.
What does he had a sponsor with like Versace or something, right? Like,
yeah,
that's like
he's
cool
just a man of very
brand.
few words,
Yeah,
he's not a big talker.
Yeah,
who knows,
man? It was a little different from Bartlett, but I do not think. To answer the question, is there a cultural problem at Penn State? I don't think there's a cultural problem. There might have been a problem here, an incident. Maybe an incident would be a good word to describe it other than a culture problem. I mean, to say there's a culture problem at Penn State is like, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? Even.
Yeah, you don't get to where they are with culture problems, you just don't. And you don't have, they got guys wrestling each other for world team spots and they have no problem with that. So that right there tells you everything you need to know.
Maybe there's a personal beef. Maybe personal beef maybe between Bartlett's wife and Carter. I don't know.
And that's why he's leaving. And that's fine. Just go, don't. And if you're going to have beef, just say it while you're there. Don't say it as you're leaving. Just say it while you're there, But again, I think it was a lot less of him and more of her, but I guess we'll never know.
I don't know, but I feel like Bartlett does have to follow up here, right? Or is he just going to go silent on this issue? Or so maybe there is more to come.
I feel like he will go silent. I feel like he should just
I would let her.
Be the big man and just stand up and say, "Hey, you know what? This is," or just give at least at the anything. Give Carter a call or whatever. Fix that, and then give a couple sentences. Boom, boom. Be done with it. Move on.
Yeah.
Maybe have a conversation with your wife and let her know that we're not airing out stuff like that. It doesn't help him at all in his name, image, and likeness.
Name, image, and likeness, and apparently he did just sign with RAF as well. So. I don't know. Might want to keep an eye on that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, but apparently it is escalating because just news as of like a couple hours ago. Bartlett's wife is going at Carter's mom online. I don't know, so I don't know if this will be the end of it. But quite frankly, I'm done kind of talking about it. Some little beef, dude, right? Get over it. Go handle it like men, face to face, dude. Like, I don't know. But here we go. Let's move on, Kevin. The other big news that dropped, we talked about it last week. It was a big topic last week. AJ Ferrari went from on the market to signed at Nebraska, which, hold on, Kevin. Let me see if I can bring this up. Our predictions, your predictions did not have Nebraska. You see that?
Yeah,
they weren't even on the list.
197 there.
They were in the 1% field,
right? But if had I known 285, I would have maybe not put them up high, but I never thought that he was going to go 285. Really, that changes everything. And I'm not necessarily convinced that he's 100% going 285, and the reason is. He said, he said in the interview with Flo, he's like, well, McDaniel's got a red shirt still. And that to me, it doesn't sound like AJ is studying the lineup. I don't think that. I think that this sounds like a conversation that might've been had is McDaniel has a red shirt. Also, an interesting thing was, I don't know if you noticed, but McDaniel went into the transfer portal and then popped right back out of it, which is weird because the transfer portal is already closed, right? So it's almost as if they didn't have any kind of buffer or something, that if guys went in there, they just still went in there. And maybe he went in and they're like, you can't go in. And then he bounced back out. Or maybe he went in and then the coaches had a conversation with him. Like, what are you doing? We can redshirt you, or Ferrari's going to go up. And then he bounced out. But either way, it was for a reason. It wasn't just a random his name go in the transfer portal. So um, if you're Nebraska, I would say, I mean, McDaniel just All American as a freshman. He's a bronze medalist, a junior bronze medalist, and you want to keep him more than Andrews, I think. So if anything, I would say, get Ferrari up at 285, keep McDaniel.
We hinted at that. I know me and my dad kind of talked about that making the most sense for him a couple months back because, I mean, he's in the weight room constantly. And, dude, there are no huge heavyweights next year, right?
Yeah, they're all on that 220s. And he's like 240, man. He's like 235. He's someone that looks like he could get up to 250 without much of an issue, And why not, man?
He's going to be probably the strongest, probably the fastest heavyweight. Honestly,
yeah, I mean,
right?
I look at him, the heavyweight field next year, and I'm like, all right, who would give him problems? And I'm like, probably like Tay, and I think
Tay
he
will
could
be
take
a good match.
Bastida. Yeah, I think he could take. I mean, I see him beating Feldman. I see him beating Keeter. I see him beat. I'm seriously wondering why there's no chance that he can't win 285 next year. There's not it's not like he can't win that weight. Either that or stuck 40 pounds and have to wrestle Barr, which is up in the air on, that would be a great match, but the kid likes to lift.
I love him at heavyweight. I think he's going to be at heavyweight. And Kevin, but I think the only obstacle maybe to him not becoming a national champion at heavyweight is all the off the field stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Nebraska. We didn't expect this, but Nebraska, of all the places, this is a cemented program, dude. They've didn't they just herald themselves for not doing the transfer game a month or so back? But really, what a great program here for AJ Ferrari to be in, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah. No, it's a great program. I love it. And I just wanted to say one last thing about the weight. Another thought I had is his brother Angelo is very young. Who's to say he's done growing? If he goes up to 197, I don't think that's a situation that they would really care for that much. I'm sure they'd rather have Angelo at 197 and AJ up at 285. But that's the last thought I had on that. But no, listen, man, Nebraska is a great place for him to be. It was one of his choices when he first went to Oklahoma State. Initially, Nebraska was up there on his list. And I think that it sounds like he's, has respect for the coaching staff, and I don't see them letting him get too carried away with anything. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. This could be a good thing for him and the team.
And a great thing for Nebraska. I mean, we're going to break down the Nebraska lineup next. I mean, we have it up on the screen, folks, but this is an incredible lineup Nebraska's working with after a great season, incredible season, actually.
Yeah.
Coming off.
They their 125-pounder beat Caleb Smith in a wrestle-off last year. Then you got, an AA and Van Die's 7th. You got Brock Hardy, who was the NCAA runner-up. Chance Lamar is a transfer. He's a 2-time blood rounder. You got the defending national champion 157. You got Minto, who was 4th place last year. Their weakest spot is 174. Then you got Allred, who is an All-American. Camden McDaniel's an All-American, and then AJ. I mean, you're looking at 9 All-Americans.
Is this second best team in the country next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, AJ just put himself. What a great. I mean, in the end of I know I know that you're a North Carolina guy, you're a Rob Cole guy, Kevin. But at the end of the day, this kind of worked out for AJ, didn't it?
Absolutely, man. And I think the only thing that went down was the money, probably, which we talked about last time. But you know what? That will come, and he's got a chance to be on he's got 2 years eligibility left.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on a really great team that's going to be right there in that second to third place area. And he's, good for him, man. This should work out well for him.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I love this combo, AJ at Nebraska, and I believe him and Angelo are doing a dual camp together too, as well. So,
Nice.
but we got other news, and we'll touch on some of those relevant things. But Kevin, in other news, Amit Elor announced that she is now out due to, I believe, being anemic and due to health reasons. So that's unfortunate. I did not have time to research with Kelly exactly what anemic is, so I don't know what that is. But however, it's very unfortunate, right, for Elor. My real question is, though, Skylar Grote, I mean, she was right there, and no chance for you. She gets no opportunity, for a best of three. Should she have an opportunity in this? And, I mean, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I hear why everyone wants her to, At the same time, this isn't the first time this has happened. I mean, David Taylor and Downey, where Downey just automatically got the spot. Taylor couldn't go to Final X. It also happened one other time. And the rules are the rules, You can dislike the rule, but it is the rule. And if you're the other person in this situation, and then they all of a sudden they wrestle a 2 out of 3, I'd be like, why are you changing the rules days before Final X, So you got to look at it from that standpoint of view. I think it's a rule that should be changed, though. I think that they should look at this and go, you know what, from now on, if somebody can't make it, we got to have another match to throw in there. Someone's got to win a 2 or 3. You got to win it. It's something like you got to win a best 2 out of 3 to make the team. That's the stipulation, As far as the anemic thing, it just really baffles me, man, because being an athlete like she is, I imagine she's taking, all sorts of blood tests and stuff. And that's, you're going to see if you're anemic, it's a lower red blood cell count.
And I would imagine she's one of the most tested athletes in our sport.
Yeah, man. I mean, she's, and I don't like seeing these people saying, oh, well, she was going to get busted for, dude, just make sure you know what you're talking about before you put out accusations. And yeah, just like, Meyer, same thing. Know what you're talking about before you put out accusations, because there's a lot of people that work their tail off, like I believe she does. And then they got to listen to that, and I don't know. The thing that bothered me was how nonchalant she was about it. She just kind of was like, and I don't know if it's because she's in love now or what.
Uh-oh.
But her much, and
well, you bring up an interesting point, Kevin. Go ahead. What's your question?
I'm not as knowledgeable on the female wrestling side as I am the male wrestling side. Did Amit, Elor, and Grote, they're the ones that wrestled, it was 2-1?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. Did you watch that match? How boring it was?
Yeah, not a lot of action. Not a lot of action.
Yeah, none. Now, other girl that wants to go, feels that she should be in there. Did those two wrestle at all? How like Grote and I'm sorry, I'm so
I
lack
don't know
of
the
knowledge.
answer to that question. No.
Okay, because I think they did. Someone said they did, and at like the U.S. Open or something. And if they did, that's another reason to be like, okay.
I don't think so. No, I think this is everyone else is getting a best of 3 opportunity. While Skylar Grote not getting a best of 3. But I get it. Their rules are rules. I'm just arguing on her behalf. Yeah. Maybe these rules should probably be looked at in the future. And I mean, I'm also rooting for Amit. And you brought up a point. Things have come so easily to Elor, so young that, okay, if her priorities did all of a sudden change, it wouldn't shock me. Like, dude, I mean, she's already achieved the highest of the highs in this sport. Yeah. She could retire, and it wouldn't even shock me. I'd
be a legend if she retired right now, And yeah, it's crazy. It's us as fans, like, we love just piling it on. Like, we wanted to see Gable stay in and just win, be the first to win 3 Olympics. We want, American to win 3 Olympics. We want to see Amit go in and just have this unbelievable, 12, 13 world championships or whatever. But we got to remember that these people, how hard the sport is, and that these people do have other interests in life. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that what she said isn't true. I mean, she's anemic. I'm just surprised that it's just. Did she just find out about this? Just this week, she just found out she was anemic. Really? That's so weird.
I don't know. Apparently, hey, Ben Askren didn't know what was going on. You got to check it out. You know
Very
what I
true.
mean? Maybe we should all get checked out. Something's going on, but we got to move on because in 5 minutes, folks, we're going to get into, and we got Clint from Wrestle Madness just called in. They got a $199. They got a sponsor for this event. You can win a prize. We'll get into it, but we got a couple other updates before we get into that, folks. First and next, the Claw draft is happening July 21st. Just what is that? Just over a month from now. It's going to be live in Harris Casino, Atlantic City, dude. It's going to be absolutely incredible. 6 general managers drafting their entire teams. So, unfortunately, BG was not eligible to be a GM, Kevin, because
Oh,
because
what
we're
a
doing
bummer,
the draft.
man.
But hey, if you didn't see our entry video, Hulk Hogan, you might want to watch that, dude. If I see you there, I will throw you a hard, heavy shoulder, Hulk. Anyway, next up, Kevin, if you want to touch on this, man, Adam Schefter reported, I got his report up here. Schools are now free to begin paying their athletes directly, making the dawn of a new era in college sports brought about by a multi-billion-dollar legal settlement that was formally approved this past Friday. So schools can now directly pay athletes. So what does this actually really mean, Kevin?
Not a whole lot for wrestling. It's a very small amount, 21 million or something per year, and it's based on revenue. So all the Olympic sports, they call them, are going to get about 5% of that. They're going to have to be divided. 95% of it's going to go to basketball, baseball, and football. With football getting about 75% of it. So this is saying, you can pay your athletes. Literally, you can hand them money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only for the schools that are, so no Ivy League schools or no schools that aren't going to go into the collective bargaining. So, but yeah, 95% of the stuff is going to be for football, basketball. I don't even think we'll even hear about any of it or see any of it. The thing about this court case, though, are 2 things. One is the roster limits. The judge was very firm on they needed to change it. So now what happened is everybody's grandfathered in. That's if you were on a Division I team last year, right? You were on their roster last year. You do not affect the team that you were on. You do not count against their roster. Or if you transfer someone else, where else, you don't count against their roster either. And that's for the rest of your career. So if you had a freshman last year, they can go for 4 more years and they cannot count on anyone's roster. Now, the thing that sucks is some teams already started making cuts, right? And it sucks. It is what it is. Those guys are gone. But teams like Oklahoma State that say they took Facundo, right? Facundo isn't going to count on their roster space, their 30-man roster space. Even though he wasn't even on their team last year, he still doesn't count. So this was a way just to make it so, the people that are already in the program, they're not, getting cut because they didn't know prior to going in. Also, if you signed a letter of intent, so if it's someone coming in to this next class for 2025, you also are under this umbrella where you don't count on the roster. So now if you're on a JUCO or a Division II or III and you transfer in, you count on the roster. It's only for Division I athletes that were enrolled on the roster last year, or guys and girls that already signed a letter of content. So that's big news because that means the rosters are going to open up a lot more than we thought. Because we thought it was going to be 30 people. And you got guys with 48 teams with 48 guys on it. You're like, where are they going to fit all these? But it's going to really cut down the amount. And after 4 years from now, all that will be gone, though, and it will be a legit 30 people per roster. Another thing, Zach, is the teams don't have to abide by this, okay? So if they still want to cut people, they can cut people.
Yeah. Okay.
And so,
Okay.
and then The only other thing was NIL. Those guys like Bo Bassett that got these sweet deals, whatever it was, we know it was sweet. That's going to come to a halt because the NCAA, even though they want nothing to do with this to begin with, to start with, we're like, okay, have fun, we'll show you what it's going to be like having athletes get paid. Then they saw the money coming in, and now they want their nose in it. So now they're going to have a crew that's going to check out all these deals before they're made and somehow decide what these athletes are actually worth. And if they say that a Bo Bassett's worth $500,000, then that's the amount of money that can be given to him for his NIL deal. Wow. And that's anything over $600, they're going to check. So that's going to be ridiculous, I think. Because who are they in the land of the free? Who are they to free opportunity to tell people what their worth is? How are they going to figure that out?
That's interesting. I did not know. And well said, Kevin. We'll have to further dig into that in the future, but
yeah,
I have nothing else to add to that, man. You well said, well explained. So we got to move on because we got Clint. I'm making my Wrestle Madness picks live tonight, folks, on the show. So if you have influence, I can change them. But moving on, two big names, Troy Nickerson, Army head coach, and also Shannon Hanna. Moving from Campbell to your place, your squad, Rob Cole, North Carolina. Very happy for both of these individuals, and really especially Shannon Hanna, because he was our dog of the duel at the Christmas duels, man.
Yeah.
And really I'm happy for all parties involved. I think he's going to do well at North Carolina. Happy for Rob Cole. I'm also happy because it's a good look for Campbell Wrestling. Campbell Wrestling is becoming like the training program. If you're not quite there, you go there, dude. Coach is going to get he's proven it. He's proven it factually. He's going to get you to bigger, better places. So that's awesome.
He embraced it, right? He embraced it. How smart is he? Instead of being like complaining about it, he embraced it. He told Tay that he should go to another school,
Yeah.
He totally embraced it, and I think it's genius on his part. And yeah, Shannon Hanna is a heck of an athlete, and I think Rob Cole can do great things with him. His athletic ability. As far as the hire, Troy Nickerson, man, I hope that he keeps Scott Green there. I think that's a necessity for him. We'll see if he does, or if Scott Green even wants to stay. But man, that's a necessity. So hopefully that could be a dynamic duo over there in Army, and they got a lot of good recruits these last 2 years, a ton of them.
Yeah, no, they're doing good things there. So, all right, folks, here it is. 3 minutes past 2. Outside of that, man, we were right on schedule tonight. I was pretty impressed. But Clint, welcome, Clint from Wrestle Madness, folks. Clint, welcome to the show. Look at that shirt, baby.
Hey, there you go, right there. Long-time listener, long-time commenter, first-time caller. But
okay,
woohoo!
That's Shannon Hanna news, man. That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, see, well, that's why you got to watch the whole show, man. And hey, but hey, you're here.
Yeah.
Hey, we have predictions, folks. We got Wayne's predictions. We got Dom's. If Dom has time to call in, we got his predictions. But what everyone's talking about, Final X this Saturday, some big-time matchups. The only one we did not include is Jack's veto. We'll talk about that right before that happens. But here are the matchups here, folks. So I will Clint. Is it Clint, dude? Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. For some reason, your name's not showing up. Anyway, we got Clint's, Dom's, Wayne's, Kevin, and mine that I'm going to do live on Wrestle Madness, and it's $1.99. Look, we got a comment. Definition is worth what people will pay. Confused. I'm kind of confused by that comment, but Clint, why don't you tell people where to go and how to join before we get into it to join in, because there's a prize for this. Go ahead.
Sure. It's app.wrestlemadness.com, and it's pretty easy to sign up. Even Kevin gave us a little instructional video there a little while back. You can find that online, but it walks you right through it. It's not too hard at all. So, that's our home base. Go in there, and then you'll see that event at the very top, Final X, ready to go. And you can pick either the open tournament or start your own league. It's a little late in the process maybe to start a league and get friends with you, but nonetheless, you're in and you have a chance to win a prize here, $50 and a Madness t-shirt.
$50 and a
Awesome.
Madness t-shirt, folks, for $1.99. So let's get into it. Here are the matchups that we're going to break down. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with, because I know he can't call in. I'm going to start with BEG Wayne's picks here, folks, for this weekend. All right? So here's the cool thing about Madness, man. You got to pick. There's details. You got to pick how many matches they win and everything. So if you look at it, he's got Messenbrink winning 2 matches to 1 over David Carr. He's got Levi winning 2 matches to 0 over Evan Wick. He's got Wyatt Hendrickson winning 2 matches to 0. He's got Trent Hidlay 2-1 over Barr. A little bit of a maybe surprising pick from Penn State Wayne there. Kyle Snyder 2-0. He's got Real Woods 2-1. Maybe that over McKenna. Maybe that is a little surprising. Then he's picking an Iowa guy. Maybe BEG Wayne's turned a new leaf, folks. I don't know. Probably not though, because then after that he's got PJ Duke going 2-1 over Yanni. Kevin's gotta love that. And Spencer Lee 2-1 over Lillendahl, and then finally Kyle Dake 2-1 over Valencia. Folks, so there are BEG Wayne's picks. Kevin, you want to go next? I don't know if Dom is working right now. He's a busy man, so I didn't know if he would have a chance to call in or not. So let's go to Kevin next, if you don't mind. Kevin, here's Cornell Kevin's picks, folks. Final X this weekend. He's going to input them on Madness tonight. Get in the action. Kevin, explain yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Mitchell, I was teetering back with a 2-0 or 2-1. And giving David Carr the benefit of the doubt. You know, he does have that win over Takatani, and I just know that he's tough, so I think maybe he can get a match in. Levi Haynes, it was 4-4 last time they wrestled, then Levi Haynes pinned him. I think that Levi Haynes has gotten a lot better since then than Evan Wick has. So I think Levi can handle him pretty well. His strength is going to be just overwhelming for Evan Wick. Hendrickson, 2-0. Not much to say there. I think that Barr will be kind of a thorn for Hidlay. Just the coaching at Penn State, I think they're going to have them all ready for those underhooks, and I think that Hidlay will win, but it's just going to be a really tight battle. Then Kyle Snyder, 2-0. McKenna and Woods, this thing, I hope McKenna wins, man. He's been so close so many times to making a world team, so I do hope he does get on the world team. But man, him losing to Destrabats, it was something, and I don't know. This one I really struggled with, but I'm going with experience. McKenna has like 173 senior level matches, and Woods has 15. Going with experience on that one. Then my 2 guys, man, Yanni and Pete Duke, New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Huge fan of both of them. I think that Yanni's going to handle him, though, pretty well. I think that, Duke had his hands full with Andonian.
Handle him?
And Yanni stacked him up and pinned him like that. I think that Duke's strength will be very good for him, but Yanni, I'm wondering if Duke's I hope he doesn't go in like kind of starstruck with Yanni, because he's looked up to him forever being in school. I hope he goes out there and does his thing, but I think Yanni's too slick, and he gets those extended singles, and he's able to suck them up somehow. And I think Yanni is not going to let this opportunity go. Spencer Lee, I think, is going to absolutely dominate Lillendahl. And I think Kyle Dake is going to beat Valencia. I cannot picture Kyle Dake losing to someone 3 times in a 1-month period. I just can't. That was the first domestic match he's lost in like 5 years. But can I just say something real quick?
I mean, he was a second away from losing to Carter, not even being here, Kevin.
I know, but Carter's tough, man.
The big bully Carter, dude.
Carter's going to be a problem.
Carter might have given him a swirly afterwards if he won that match.
So, I was listening to Jordan Burroughs, right, on Flow, talking about Zahid, right? And, Burroughs was over there at Oklahoma State, and I almost felt like he was given kind of a load of crap. He was saying how Zahid's gas tank and, going on and on. And if I was Kyle, I would just try and keep the match close, knowing that Zahid – I all of a sudden think that Zahid's been working his butt off and has a gas tank, and that's why Burroughs is saying that.
Yeah.
I think that Zahid is going to be in shape, okay? They're not going to not have him in shape. And, man, you got Burrows and David Taylor there helping him. It's going to be tough, but Kyle Dake is Kyle Dake. And I think that he's going to get the job done. Zahid has to win the first match to even have a chance. If he loses the first match, he's done, I think. But that's where I'm going with that. So
Very interesting. Also, Jordan Burroughs now all of a sudden just a huge promoter of Oklahoma State wrestling.
Oh yeah, he loves them.
And that surprised me, and the fact that he was so saying he wanted to coach again, that shocked me too, because he was so against it before. But man, why wouldn't you? You know, all that money there, and whew.
Well, now, he sees David Taylor over there making a milli every year. He's thinking, he's not even working that hard, dude. He's just telling people what to do, right? But
you guys think that he'll want to be a head coach somewhere?
Yeah, I hope he is. That'd be awesome.
He said if the opportunity comes up now, wouldn't Nebraska make sense? I mean, how many years is Mark Manning going to go there for? You know,
right?
He's got to be getting up there.
A few more years, right?
Yeah, you would think.
He's definitely a silver fox. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he is.
All right,
he was ready to tear it up at the Olympic trials, though, right? With that one guy, he was ready to tear it up.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah, he's still got a ton of energy. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, Kevin, well explained, well said. Predictions. You see him up on the board there, and I don't know. I have some different ones, but we're gonna move next to Clint and the Madness predictions. So, Clint, your predictions are now up on the board. Explain yourself.
Yeah, so I just noticed that, again, Kevin and I picked so similar. The only difference there is the McKenna Real Woods. So,
wow.
Like usual, Kevin and I will be sitting at the top of that leaderboard, kind of fighting
That's
it
right.
out.
Things are good, man.
Way down below. But,
okay.
You know, it'll all come down to the type of victory, right? That's where you're going to make the differences if you can pick those. So, yeah, let's start at the top there. I kind of wanted to pick apart Wayne's picks there a little bit because, he had Mitchell not going 2-0. I was surprised to see him giving up a match. David Carr, no weakness there, right? I mean, this guy's so fundamentally sound and hard to beat. However, I look at this as Mitchell next topic. Am I wrong? I mean, this is just his era. This is his time. I think Messenbrink starts chasing records starting now, and we'll see him for the next decade doing it. Then that next one, old Evan Wick. Kevin, have you ever wrestled a guy like super tall like that?
Hate it. I did 126 pounds. I had to wrestle a guy who was 6'1" and 126 pounds, and I was like, and he was from this like hillbilly school, and I'm like, who's this dude? And they're like, he's good, man. It was like when I was a freshman in high school. This dude whooped me. He just got on top of me and just never got off me, and it was the worst. They're horrible to wrestle.
Yeah, similar back in high school. I wrestled a guy who was 6'5", and I was 135 at that time. Yeah. So I had this guy up on my shoulder, got a beautiful double leg up on my shoulder, and I went to finish front, and his feet are touching the mat. He's already posted up. He
never left the ground?
Never left the ground. And then I go to throw him back, and here his hands are posted on the mat. He's doing London Bridge over my shoulder.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the adjustments had to be made. I did avenge that loss. So that's what I see here. I see Evan Wick maybe taking that first one on Levi. He makes his adjustments, comes back, wins match 2 and match 3. And I'm picking a fall there by Haynes in that third match. So,
wow.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Wyatt, boy, is he the definition of final boss? I mean, this guy scares the bejesus out of me. So this guy, I think he's going to win by Mortal Kombat fatality. I mean, this is just going to be finish him.
Well said.
So Trent Hidley, I love this guy. I mean, he's good on the mic. I love his personality coming out here, but he's still the old dog, and he's up there with Barr. So I went 2-0 on this just to kind of Madness strategy, try to gain some points. I think everybody's going to want to pick 2-1 there. So I
Yeah,
think
you're probably
highly.
right.
This is a little bit of like a limbo contest. How low can you go? These two they'll get real low on that mat, and highly he'll get that underhook, and I think he'll just kind of control the center a little bit.
Yeah.
Kyle Snyder. Oh boy, what do we expect here? This is a wild card, right? And I'm not gonna let Zach rope me into a bad joke right now. So yeah, let's just go Snyder man. Next topic. But I am gonna pick Zilmer to grab a match off of him to once again
You
try to
are?
gain.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's my. You got to take a chance in madness, man. You got to do
Do
something
you
that
know
nobody else is going to
that
do.
Kyle Snyder has not lost a domestic match in over a decade?
Oh, I know that. Yes, Kyle
Okay.
Snyder also hasn't had the last 2 months that ever before either.
Hey, he might have. Everything except for the
First
arrest
time in
part.
my life.
He may, if he's not completely focused, we may understand why.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's a little risk. You know, you might lose.
I like it, man.
Upwards to 10 points on that, but nonetheless. McKenna Real Woods. I like to call him Real Woods, but
You sound much
time,
more, yeah.
Yeah, like a football club, huh? You know,
Real Al.
yeah, Real Woods. But I think we're gonna see the real Woods this time. He looked good, man. He looked good in the last couple contests there. And even though Joey McKenna reminds me a lot of Aaron, the way he looks and the way he wrestles, I love McKenna. I think Woods is just on a tear. I think he's on a roll. And then Yanni PJ Duke. Yeah, it's hard to pick against one of these two guys. I love both of them. And I think they look exactly alike on the mat. Do you agree, Kevin? Zach? I mean, their stance is like identical.
Their stance is identical. I feel like Duke has changed his stance a lot in the last 6 months. Completely different stance. I think that this match is the one match that I do think Yanni's going to win both, but I have no idea what this match looks like. I have no idea, and that's what's exciting to me about it. I don't know how the takedowns are scored. It's going to be I love it. I love it. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I think this is the one I'm most pumped up for, just to watch as a entertainment value. But I went unorthodox to pick this one out. So just bear with me here, guys. It's in New Jersey. Final X is in New Jersey, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
That's somewhat close to Philly. Philadelphia Eagles. What's the name of their head coach? Kevin, you know this.
Eagles
Nick,
coach right now.
Nick something, right? Nick.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni.
Yeah. Sirianni.
Oh.
So we're going Yanni there.
Oh, dude. I wish I knew where you were going with that, dude. Yeah.
You find a way, you know?
That was awesome.
I'm with everybody else in the world. I think Spencer he's just going to dominate. I mean, you know, you're Olympic silver. There's kind of this theme throughout this list of it reminds me of an old Led Zeppelin song. Your time is going to come. Some of these young guys, their time's coming, but it's not yet.
Yeah.
So Luke, hang tight, buddy. Just not yet, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then main event, King Zahid with the speed versus Kyle Dake. It's definitely going 3. I think Zahid has confidence, but bomb coming back. I think some big moves are happening. So I have Z taking match 1 and then Dake 2 and 3.
Huh. Okay.
You know,
Clint, that was incredible. You had analysis.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I must say, dude. Oh my goodness, dude. We gotta have you back on
we
again.
Get Clint on
very
here more
soon.
often, man.
Yeah, the analogies, the jokes, dude. This guy. Who is this guy, dude? That was.
This is what we do, man. Hey, and then I also did you guys notice my ode to Kevin back here?
Yes.
I love it, man. I did, dude. We're battling out.
Kevin, tell him about
man.
the one front center of yours, dude. See that, folks? To honor Ben Askren. We're all praying for Ben Askren. Kevin put him front center.
That's great.
Man.
Great stuff.
Look at that, dude. Look at that. Hey, Ben thinks I hate him. I actually love him, but
we all love him.
One thing I wanted to add real quick is I think might come into play is Zahid and Dake are the last match, right? I don't know how many of these matches are going to go to 3. I don't think a lot. If there isn't a lot, the round 3 starts exactly 30 minutes after the conclusion of round 2. So if there's only 1 or 2, series that go to 3, Dake and Zahid could be up very quickly. And if Zahid doesn't have that gas tank figured out, that could be an issue. And, every match that he's wrestled, real tough guys in series of 3, it's been like he's come out like an animal. The next match he loses, just barely. And then the third one he just gets like against Taylor. Taylor just stuck him, Yeah. Dake beat him really bad that third time a while back. So we'll see. That might come into play. But like I said, I
guys,
think they're gonna have to shape.
Coming after you two, I feel real dumb. I'm just gonna be honest, but before I give mine, dude, because which I'm doing live, folks, here momentarily on Wrestle Madness. You're gonna see my live picks. It's $1.99 to join. Before we get to mine, Clint, that was incredible. I mean, I can't wait to have you back to do it again. But I got to put up Dom because Dom, part of the BEG team, Dom Zacconi, I was hoping he could call in. Could not. He's a working man. But let's look at his picks. He's got Messenbrink 2-1. Interesting. And he's got Wick over Haynes. I don't think either of you two had that, right? Wick over Haynes. So there's something no one picked. Everyone's got Wyatt 2-0. He's got Barr. I don't think either of you two picked Barr, right? I don't even think. My dad, Wayne, picked Barr. That's a shocker from Dom. And Dom is the most recent former wrestler of this whole
impossible
group.
It's not impossible.
Who knows? It might be Dom. Then he's got Kyle Snyder 2-0. Okay, McKenna 2-1. Yanni 2-0. Spencer 2-0. And then Dake 2-1. So
he's got the same exact picks in series I do, except for Barr and Hidley are flipped and Haynes and Wick are flipped. Besides that, he's exactly what I have right down the line.
Okay. Are you trying to say you guys
got to get him on Madness too? Is he officially in or no?
I don't know. I don't know if he's on Madness officially. We'll have to follow up with Dom here after the show.
I'll post the BEG League after too. Again, I'll post that in the chat and then the Facebook as well. Maybe we can put a link on there for the show too.
There we go. Yeah, we'll do all that. But here, to end it, I got to add music because my analysis will not be close to what Kevin and Clint's were. But, folks, hey, look at the screen. I'm live on Wrestle. It's app.wrestlemadness.com. You sign up. You're in the tournament. You pay the $1.99. You see right here, $50 cash prize. So we're going to go through. We're going to make my live picks as I believe they will happen. So let's start off with Spencer Lee and Lillendahl. So you go here, folks, and you just click what kind of match 1, what do you believe the decision is going to be? And I think we're going to get a tech match 1 from Spencer over Lillendahl, and I believe we're going to get a tech in match 2, Spencer over Lillendahl, okay? People may disagree. We're going to move on to 65 kilograms. McKenna and Real Woods. Here we go. I'm going to go.
Hold on, Zach. You better make sure you click the wrestler there, too, while you're doing it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. See, folks? Look, that's why Click is on here, man. Look, you click the wrestler, click the decision, because all points matter. Clint, why don't you explain the points a little bit? Do you know that off the top of your head? Or is that an algorithm?
No, it's pretty simple scoring. I like to keep these things simple so you guys can figure it out and adjust your strategy accordingly. So, it's 5 points to pick the correct wrestler, the winning wrestler of the match is that type of victory down the middle there. And the fall/default is 4 points. And then for freestyle, we actually go to disqualification next. Pretty rare outcome, but it does happen. And that's 3 points. And then technical superiority, is 2 points and decision 1 point. So, you might have a lot of pick cards that look similar with winning wrestlers, but it's that type of victory that really makes the difference. You want to take some chances there.
That's what separates it. That's what separates you from your opponent. So 5 points for the winner, and then if you pick the decision right, there's bonus points, baby. That's how Clint and Kevin been at the top of these leaderboards. One time I was, Clint. Feels like a long time ago. But let's move on, folks. 65 kilograms.
One time.
All right, here we go.
Exactly. While you're there, though, real quick, can you scroll back up to the top?
There you go.
So you see that the event info up there by Save Changes. Anybody can click that, and that'll give you all the information you could possibly need. And that's to every single event. It's custom, and it'll tell you the scoring, who's in there, give you this podcast you can listen to and get some advice.
And
Awesome.
go back and listen to
Sweet,
Clint's advice and Kevin's advice. Is going to be better than mine, maybe not, but 65 kilograms. All right, my picks happening live on WrestleMadness.com. First match, I'm going Real Woods. Okay, here's what I'm going here. Tech, match 1.
Ooh.
Match 2, McKenna, decision, match 2. And then finally, McKenna by Tech in match 3 to move on. Wow. Did you get goosebumps there, Clint? I don't know.
A little bit. That's analysis. Man, that's priceless.
All right, here's one of the big ones, baby. 70 kilograms, Yanni and PJ Duke. Who am I picking? We've seen people on both sides of the board. Match 1, I'm going PJ Duke by decision. Okay. And you're like, oh my goodness, he's not going to actually do that, is he? Match 2, Yanni's going to take it by a tech. Okay. Match 3, who's it going to be, folks? Drum roll, Yanni. I'm going PJ Duke in a decision, dude. The young buck. Kevin shakes his head in disappointment. Oh, my goodness.
Good. I'm glad. Keep it going, Zach. Keep your train going down.
All right. Oh, my goodness. All right, moving on. 74 kilograms, Messenbrink, David Carr. Now, I've already said, I think David Carr, for the first 30 seconds of the first match, I think his peak is a little bit better than Messenbrink's, but I think it quickly diminishes, and Messenbrink quickly, and I'm going Messenbrink, bang, bang, 2 matches, and, okay, let's go decision the first, and let's go tech. He's just going to work him. And by the way, did you guys listen to the Nolf interview? Piles interviewed Nolf. He talked a little bit about Messenbrink and how he's a little bit weird. He's a little bit different, right? He's like, dude, he's just always go. And take some time for people to adjust to Messenbrink. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I like how he said, he was a thorn in Burroughs, how he's messing with him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to believe. I even heard Askren say one time that he gets pissed at Messenbrink. Just wrestle him in the room. It's just
Askren said he goes, no, Jordan had every right to go after him, man. I've had to put him in line in the room before.
That was a good one.
You gotta love that about Messenbrink, though. But yeah, hey, he takes some getting used to. Some people have said that about me in the past, by the way. But all right, I'm moving on. 79 kilograms. Let's go, baby. Or my hometown boy. By the way, this is my last show last night in Frederick. Every show from this point forward, we'll be in Gettysburg. We're moving to Gettysburg tomorrow. This is where Levi Haynes is from. So who do you think I'm picking match 1? Levi Haynes, baby, match 1. I think it is going to be close. You talked about Evan Wick. He's bigger than I've ever seen him. And his height, and Evan Wick is probably better than he's ever been before now. So for that reason, I'm going Evan Wick taking match 2. But ultimately, I got to pick Levi, dude. I could potentially cross this dude in the bar in the future from now on. And
what's good for you.
That might be one of the dudes I can't beat up in town. Anyway, we're moving on. 86 kilograms. Here we go. Another big dog matchup, baby. Valencia and Dake. Everyone on the big old Dake train, right? The Dake bombs. Clint's talking about Dake bombs everywhere. Here, Kevin over there, Dake. I'm going Valencia match 1. Yes, absolutely. Decision. Okay, I'm going Dake match 2. Yeah, all right. And he'll probably tech him because I think Valencia is going to pace himself. Because Valencia's going to take it, baby. Match 3. Valencia is bigger and better and stronger than Dake is now, folks. I hate to break it to you.
You got guys teching guys, and the next guy techs him. And
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's why I'm going to win this. All right.
Yeah. Right
All
on,
right.
man.
All right, let me see what I got here. All right, moving on. We got Hidlay and Josh Barr. Hidlay is a man. He's got man strength. He's going to tech Josh Barr in match 1. But then I'm going to go decision. By decision. He figures it out a little bit, and maybe Hidlay takes a break match 2. But finally, we all knew it's Hidlay, however you want to say it. He's a great announcer and a great wrestler, by the way. Multi-talented individual.
One of the best announcers, man. I hope he continues that.
I do too, but maybe not if he wins this, because he is 2 techs, and he's going 2-1 over Barr. 2 left, Kyle Snyder. And a lot going on with Kyle Snyder. I don't know if you heard, folks, but I think as a man, I've experienced this. I got in a little trouble off the field, and then I had a big game. I was never more focused in all my life than that game for some reason. For some reason, I believe wrestling will be Kyle Snyder's getaway, his focus. This might be a more focused, better version of Kyle Snyder.
Can you specify what trouble you're talking about?
No, I spray painted some boats, Clint, and anyway.
Yeah. I wasn't sure where he was going there for a second.
Somehow, it wasn't nothing like that. No, it wasn't nothing. Like, let me clarify that. Thank you for bringing that up and making me clarify. But I think Kyle Snyder's going to be way more focused than, maybe not, and it wouldn't surprise me either way. But then finally, you guys mentioned it, Wyatt. Let's bring it home with Wyatt, baby. And I'm going to go fall, and I'm going to go fall because we need difference makers for points, right?
World silver medalist coming up.
And he's on the hottest run of any wrestler, arguably. And he's showing up in the big moments. And so that's all you got to do. You go to Wrestle Madness. You click those, and you come up here. You click Save Changes. And boom. You got 17 hours, 57 minutes, and 40 seconds left, folks, to enter
So
this.
easy, so awesome. You got to do it. It's so much fun. It makes everything so much more fun to follow.
Let's see if I can bring up. Look, folks, we got league progress here. Look at all these people, dude. This is freaking loaded, Clint. Oh my goodness, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful, folks. Go to Wrestle Madness, and that's all I got, man. We had a heavy week of topics. Say your prayers for Ben Askren. He is still in a hospital. He's still struggling, and we all need him to pull through, dude. Because, come on. He's a great mind, and I could never make another joke about him unless he pulls through to full strength. So that's what I'm saying my prayer is saying. But, Kevin, Clint, let's go to you. Final thoughts, man. Clint, and you've been incredible, by the way. Clint, you're coming back soon because incredible analysis.
Please do. It was fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. This was fantastic. Just to give us this exposure and then to show how it works. That's the first time I've seen that happen live like this. That's kind of a dream come true. Zach, you're making my dreams come true here right now.
Look at that, folks. Also, I'm filling out the women's here. If you see on the screen, filling out the women's as well here right after the show. But we failed to do that. I apologize, all you women out there.
That's a fun one to do too. But yeah, hey, let's go, Ben. Let's pull through this thing, man. Best of luck to his family. And yeah, can't wait to come back.
All right, Clint, been incredible. Kevin, final thoughts here.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are wondering what's up with this ugly shirt, but if you see here, wrong. The Mets, baby. Best record in baseball, like the Jeffersons. They're moving on up.
Wow.
Beans don't burn on the grill. Mets, baby.
Don't they always traditionally choke, though? And aren't they still paying? What's the pitcher they're still paying money for?
Are you going to bring up
Mike
the
Piazza?
1,000 things wrong with the Mets? Because we all know. Let's be positive, man.
It's Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla they're paying. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. They still pay him, I think, for 4 more years.
4 more years they're paying Bobby Bonilla, dude. He quit playing in the
Bobby
80s.
Bonilla Day. Bobby Bonilla Day, man. They pay him $1 million a year for the rest of his life, pretty much.
Right.
Hey, not the smartest franchise, I'll tell you that, but they're my team, man.
First. And Orioles are just screwing it up this year. That's closest to me, but all right, Kevin, you've been great. Clint's been great. My final thoughts, man, I'm moving. So Wayne will be back soon because I'm moving to a house 7 minutes from him. And he's got a new work schedule. And, hey, it will be closer and more content to come. Obviously, we haven't been putting a lot of content out lately. So, basically, I've been repairing this entire house while we're upgrading our new house while moving, and it all ends after this weekend. So I cannot wait. And it's going to be a new studio, makeshift, but folks, we're going to be back bigger and better than ever. Every time, Clint, every time. That's all I got. So, all right, Bo and Carter, go beef it out, dude. 1-on-1. I mean, seriously, right? Come on, man. But Final X, folks, this weekend. It's going to be fun. Watch it. Get on Wrestle Madness and play, and you can win a prize. So, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you later.
Wrestle Madness.
See ya.